Please read the call.
Notice of public meeting of the City Commission of the City of Brownsville. Pursuant to Chapter 551, Title 5 of the Texas Government Code, the Texas Open Meetings Act, notice is hereby given that the City Commission of the City of Brownsville, Texas, in accordance with Article 5, Section 12 of the Charter of said city, will convene an executive session, workshop, and special meeting on Monday, March the 3rd, 2008 at 5:15 p.m., 5:45 p.m., and 6 p.m. in the Commission Chambers on the second floor of the Brownsville City Hall Federal Building, located at 1001 East Elizabeth Street, Brownsville, Cameron County, Texas. Workshop item A, discussion regarding alternative fuel.
Mr. Atkinson, you put this on the agenda?
Yes, we're gonna table this to the next meeting. Now, if we can, maybe we'll vote on or it's a workshop, I don't think we have to vote on it, but, the person who's coming in, his brother passed away Friday, so he's gonna be real busy with that, so he called me just this morning and said that he couldn't, make it because he's traveling to Tennessee, so if we can, we'll table it for next meeting.
It's not an action item, so I don't think we need to do anything.
Another
Yeah, we'll just do it
workshop next time around. Workshop item B, discussion regarding minimum wage requirement for all contractors doing work for the City of Brownsville.
Mr. Camarillo, you put this on the agenda?
Yes, apologize for running a little bit late.
Do you want
Last week,
couple of minutes?
No, I'm good. I'm ready to go. Last week we had the item tabled so we can have a workshop so we could really discuss the living wage increase that I'm here to champion on behalf of Valley Interfaith and their folks. Like I said last week or the week prior, this wasn't my initiative, but this is something I felt is very important to consider for the City of Brownsville, and so it has my full-fledged support. The living wage ordinance is, I think, critical to Brownsville because it sets a standard. It sets a standard for, one, we have a standard that we set for our employees. We all agreed about a year ago or so that we wouldn't pay our employees lower than $8.50. So that's a huge precedent. We're asking, well, by this resolution that we'll hopefully adopt, we'll ask that those that do business with the City of Brownsville not pay their employees anything lower than $8.50 as well. That's really important, one, for many different reasons. Most importantly, I think, for stability of a household. As we know, living wages are hard to come by, and families struggle now more than ever due to gas prices. The cost of oil per barrel has been outrageous. We've already seen gas prices at $3.09, and we're now hearing word that we're going to possibly see, gas prices go to $4 per gallon. So the living wage increase would help those folks that really need it the most. And it's important that we really, really try to identify with those individuals by implementing policy that would help them. And I think this item will do just that. People talked about that, well, maybe, this would hurt business for the City of Brownsville. It would add more cost to the city. Well, I want to make it very clear that there was a study that was done by the Economic Policy Institute out of Washington, D.C., and they do this research to conduct how a living wage would affect other communities. And one of the things that it was very specific was that maybe the city saw an increase of 1 to 2% on their contracts. So maybe 1 or 2% increase on a contract was seen by the city. There was no loss of jobs, and some of the research that EPI did with other communities, that's real important. We obviously don't want anybody to lose their jobs. But again, it set a precedent that you're not losing jobs, you're helping people, but you're also helping them not rely on government assistance, which I think is another real critical situation when it comes to, we want our folks to be self-sustaining. And I think through this policy, we can help initiate that, not hurt anybody, yet ensure that, we're going to help people get on their feet by implementing such.
I have a question. Well, what are the implications here? Are we facing legally? Can we do this?
As far as I'm concerned, we would not be facing anything illegally. I've had many conversations with Mr. Goza and Mr. Chosey. He's probably shared some of those discussions with you. But legally, if everything would go into effect, things wouldn't happen until July 1st of '08, which would allow us time to, one, implement the policy in our books, in our statements, in our manuals, and for, getting ready for the future requests that will be coming into play. So this policy goes into an RFP or any type of a bid. We're going to require the following. We ask this of other companies. You need to have a performance-based bond. You need to have the following. Well, this would be just additional to requirements that are already in place when it comes to any kind of a contract or a bidding process that go through the city of Brownsville. So this would be one. So legally, we wouldn't jeopardize anything. When it comes to federal contracts, in terms of the federal government says you will pay the following, well, they would be excluded. This would not touch those contracts. So I want to be very clear when it comes to CDBG monies and their, again, HUD monies, and it says, the federal government says you will pay your employee X amount, well, we are not going to impose anything on them. That's the federal contract will be abided. Again, we're not going to, we won't interfere when it comes to any type of federal contracting or any state mandate or state legislation. We're not going to touch that. We're not going to, impose ourselves on that. So legally, I think we'd be fine.
I have a question.
Mr. Atkinson?
Let me ask you something.
Yes.
So what about the people that have bid already, that are currently working with the city, that aren't at that $850? Are we gonna have to go back? Are they gonna put in an amendment to their contract for us to pay them even more? And, hold on, and the new bids that go out now, is the city gonna have to pay more to allocate more monies? Because usually when there's people put in contracts, they pay their employees $5 an hour or $6 an hour. Then they're gonna come back and say, okay, the city, because you're making me pay $850, this is what our bid's gonna be now, based on the city requiring that they pay $850 an hour or whatever. I mean, what's that gonna do for
Right.
the cost to the city now?
That's a good question. I think we're going to see, as part of the research has shown, we're going to maybe see a 1, maybe 2% max increase on some of those contracts. One of the things I had Mr. Luna, I don't think he's here right now, but we asked him to take a look at the top 5 contracting jobs that we issue out the most, which obviously we know streets, security, carpet cleaning, uniforms, maintenance, and I wanted to find out, well, what is the per hour that those companies pay their employees. So we'll take a look at that. 2, communities have looked at poverty levels. They've taken the percentage of the poverty level, and they base it by, well, how can we get them out of poverty if we, again, this goes back to also some different matrices that determine what they want to pay their employee to elevate them from that poverty wage line. So they take that formula, which they take that number of what the poverty level is, and they multiply it by X number to determine what that would do. For the city, though, I don't think, again, going back to what their research has shown, the percentage of that increase would be, I believe, very, very minimal. Again, part of this goes into the contract. So we say, this is what we'd like you to do, and then they'll determine, well, can I do that or can't I? The cost can be deferred by the company in different ways. By their training, well, you're going to have a better quality worker, and I think that's how they're going to defray their training and their part of their cost. But would there be a cost increase? Well, there would be, but again, it's shown to be very minimal. It's not going to be something that's going to break our back, and it's going to force us to do major changes. And the other question you mentioned was our existing contracts. Our existing contracts are going to go. Those are going to continue. Thank you, Mr. Lewin. Those will continue. Those will not be are not going to be considered as part of this. This is anything that has to do with beginning July 1st of '08 is what we're looking at.
Okay, so
Everybody
some
would
of
be
these
safe.
current
No one-
contracts, if they come back, say after they end in 2 years or something, they're gonna be required to pay.
The new standard would be in place, the $850,
How does that
if
affect us?
they wish to apply.
Mr. Cabler, how would that affect the city? I mean, would it affect us? I mean, is it something that,
Well, we're, like the commissioner said, we're still studying that. The long-term contracts that we have in place now, we'll have to look at that as far as our security company, our trash collection companies. I've talked to a few of the contract workers. It doesn't seem like it'll affect them as much. A lot of their employees are high-skilled, paid employees that, you know, make $8 and $10 an hour.
For example, G&T paving. An equipment operator gets paid $12 per hour as of right now. Their regular labor, whether skilled, unskilled, gets $8.50 per hour. Now, that's just G&T paving. Red River Linen Services currently pays their delivery drivers $10 an hour. The regular labor, $8 per hour. Regular unskilled labor, $6.50 per hour. So again, the $6.50 to get them to the $8.50, it's not very much. And again, that's just one service.
Well, that's
Run
two-
regular service.
That's $2 that'll get him to the $8.50, Commissioner, but then what about their independent matrix when it comes to that employee that's at $8 an hour, that's gonna get 50 cents, that's a $2.50 an hour, depending on their number per employee. And then, so goes on the matrix all the way up to the management. If you're giving a $2.50 raise or a $2 raise to a $6.50 an hour employee, it's gotta go up within the matrix. It's gotta go all the way up to the top, right before management. That was the only concern that we had last time.
No, and I understand, and again, I don't think we wanna, by this ordinance, this policy, I don't think we're trying to dictate the matrix for that individual business. I believe that if an individual contracting firm wishes to do business in Brownsville, they'll realize, well, these are my parameters.
You're not wishing it, you're forcing it on them by putting it on there.
Well, no, we have the decision to say you need to have X amount of bond for any project. We set the parameters. We say this is what we're asking, and it isn't. We don't make or break businesses here. So I believe this is the same justice that we do for everybody else. I think it's the same, except we are elevating ourselves above all other communities.
Anybody wish to speak from the audience on this? Father Jerry? Okay.
Is it the wage and hour jurisdiction of the federal government?
Obviously, we're not violating the federal government's labor standards. Well, the EPI study is based on federal government, their research, their data, and it's all right here. I'll give you a copy of that.
This is continue to penalize the citizens of Brownsville. You see, when the minimum wage came up the other day from $5.15 to $5.65, everything had already increased by 200% or 100%. The gasoline had gone from $1 to $3. The milk had gone from $2 to $4, and the eggs from $1 to $2. You know, the taxes, although the market value of the properties have decreased, you have not decreased their taxes. How about thinking about that? You have never audited the County Appraisal District to make sure that everybody's paying their fair share. I found that out when the Murphy Farms came up to the commission for sale.
Mr. Reese, what does this have to do with what we're talking about? What does this have to do with what we're talking about?
With the constituency, sir, we have to pay taxes and everybody...
He's trying to help the constituency by raising up the minimum wage.
Not in general, he's trying to help only the ones that have contracts with the city. But the question that I ask is, in general, is this jurisdiction of the commission or is the jurisdiction of the federal government?
Mr. Reese, and I...
There's a lot of issues and measures to consider, sir.
Yes, sir.
Not just that they're going to work with bond money that we have to pay also.
Well, again, Mr. Reese, let's not lose sight of the fact of what we're trying to do. And basically, and again, you might have not have heard what I was saying, but what we're trying to do is the following. Anyone who wishes to do business with the city of Brownsville via contract-based, we're asking that they pay their employees no minimum than $8.50 hours, just as what we pay our city employees. This is not imposing any type of artificial tax, or I didn't just think of the number arbitrarily one day and said, hey, this sounds like a good idea. To the contrary, I believe it's something very good for the city of Brownsville. I think it sets us apart from other communities, and it's really going to help the people that maybe might not have the benefits that others do, but it's going to say, you know what, if I get a job, if my business gets a job with the city, I'm going to be all right. I'm going to be taken care of. And I think at the end of the day, it's about those folks, those are the individuals that we want to look at. So that's where this is coming from.
If we're going to dictate policy to the construction workers or whatever, to the contractors, then then, sir, that the increase of cost for what you want done is going to happen. If you're going to penalize, you have to pay this, and you're gonna say, okay, if this job was gonna cost so much, now it's gonna cost you more, because I have to pay these employees more. And you know what, and you're just taking into consideration these employees, and you're taking into consideration of the bureaucracy. How about us, the working people, man? We're already strapped to our necks with taxes and with low wages. Why don't you get an increase in wages for everybody in general, so that we can have some kind of medium income and a measurement, so that everybody can meet up to the increasing products that we have to pay for without the increase that you are asking for?
There's no increase to the, there's no,
Mr. Camarillo, let's be recognized, so that way we can have a little order here.
yes.
And by the time they got this 50-cent increase, the products had already increased 100 or 200%. What really increases the people in this community get? None. None, sir. And our taxes have increased. The purchasing power of the dollar has decreased. We're up to our necks already, sir. We don't want to.
Thank you, Mr. Reese. Let's hear from Father Jerry, see what he has to say. Thank you, Mr. Reese. Father Jerry?
You know, the Davis-Bacon prevailing wage rates for construction workers, for example, across 20 different areas of construction industry, are about 1/3 of what they are in Houston. And that's why people who have done living wage stuff in the Valley say it's been a good investment, because they don't have the morale problems, they don't have the absenteeism problems, they don't have to constantly retrain workers who once trained for good construction jobs then migrate to better paying jobs up in San Antonio, Houston, elsewhere. The whole point of this thing is to use our leverage as a city and hopefully affect other communities, and we will do this, just like we did with the living wage thing. From La Jolla to Brownsville, we've got 25 different local government entities involved in doing a base living wage. Now, you'll be the pioneers in setting this thing for contracts. As you see in the information that Edward handed out, many municipalities across the country have done this thing. And the whole purpose of this thing is to enhance the living wage of the people, not to burden the ordinary people. Local government employs so many people in our labor force. If you use your influence, and we'll go to the county and the school board and all the way across, all the way to La Jolla again, or to Roma and the whole valley, can you imagine the competition's going to be set up for paying better wages in the private sector in order to retain the best workers, the most competent workers? Everybody wins. We will not be known and always categorized as the lowest income earning area of the country, and poverty #1. This is an effort to build up our families, to give them a wage that's going to be able to provide for their families. And it's going to have a reverberating effect across the economy. And also, even if it does affect the matrix, for example, the effect will be most powerful on the lower levels of the matrix. And that's part of the idea, is to build up these wages at the lower level so that people can have a decent job and provide for their families. The city of Brownsville would be the first local government to take this extra step forward and put this into your contracts. Many other municipalities have done it, but you pioneer the way, and I know that people will get in line. The county is ready to do it, and UTB and others, and we'll go all the way up the valley. It'll be a level playing field for those who want to contract with the city. Everybody will have to abide by the same rules. It's not going to favor some company against another company. I would suggest that in the federal grants, for example, that to the extent that you're able to influence the pay levels, that the federal grants also pay those same. You use the federal grants that you get to pay the same levels in your contracts for public works, unless the grants specifically prohibit that. But I mean, those are your monies, and you ought to do that across the board with all the monies that you get through grants. Unless the grant says you can't use it for that kind of thing. But I don't think that you're gonna find many grants that are that restrictive. And finally, I got a form of the resolution that you had last time, and, for $8.50 an hour, hopefully. And, it says this, I would like to add that this living wage specification will apply to all full-time and part-time personnel, because the problem in not applying it to part-time personnel is the company can use its employees full-time or part-time in one thing and then part-time here and be able to escape this, the effect that you want to have in this clause. So it would hopefully apply to part-time as well as full-time employees, and be explicitly incorporated into the specs of each contract. Basically, that's all I've got. Also, in terms of, where it says, you say, for all the employees and subcontractors hired by prime contractors, I would like to change that to say, for all employees of prime and subcontractors hired by the city.
Ask a question.
So it applies to everybody, even the people employed by the subs, who are the most of the people.
I'm gonna ask, so like, some of these people who bid for the city, if they're not bidding for the city and they go do private work, they're not gonna be required to pay them, they'll pay them back at $5 an hour if they wanted to, right?
Well, they were doing private work for who?
Or whoever, they subcontract for other businesses, or they wanna go do something at BISD or for UTB.
Oh, it isn't it, right.
So it's, whenever they do business for the city, it's gonna be
Any work
$8.50.
any work specifically with the city of Brownsville is what we're asking.
But
When
how-
they go to BISD or the university, then they would adjust as per.
How is that gonna affect, because every cause has an effect, so I just wanna make sure.
I think it's gonna raise the standard, Commissioner. I think it's, at the end of the day, it's gonna mean the university, the school district, and probably all these other entities are gonna have to go back and consider, do we wanna follow the city of Brownsville's lead, that they wanna take care of their employees, but those that contract with them. I think it's gonna set a standard.
Have we
That's
checked-
honestly my opinion.
Have we checked on a lot of these contractors and see how they feel about doing that? Or, because if they're gonna have to put into their bid proposals the extra $3 an hour, it's gonna put more strain on the city to get stuff done, and do we want that? Do we might have to raise taxes, because
I don't think it's going to lead to that direction. If we look at specifically street paving, as it is, cost of street paving has to go up because we're looking at oil. Now, that's not because that's what we want to do, but that's because economically, and is what the price is out there for everybody. So, people say, well, you're raising the cost on the street for me. No, I'm not. That's just the way it is. So, in this situation, we're saying this is what we're doing for our employees. And so this would not lead to any type of a tax increase whatsoever. I don't believe so. Again, I think it goes back to, again, raising the standards for these employees that contract for the city of Brownsville. That's what it does. I think it's going to provide them a better way of life. If it didn't, I wouldn't have brought it forward.
Well, I totally agree with you on that, but like Mr. Kabler said, they're doing a study to see how that might affect the city budget,
It's gonna affect us in relation to GMS, our residential and commercial garbage pickup, our security companies that are hired continuously throughout the year.
How?
Well, for example, our security company, we pay them no more than $8 an hour for certain officers, so obviously they pay their employees a lot less. We have security in and around the city throughout parks. Obviously, that's gonna have to be looked at. Not this year, because for lack of better words, that seems like it's going to be grandfathered this year. But obviously, for future considerations, when we look at the contract with them, it's not going to make sense for them.
So what happens then?
It's not going to make sense for them to be us paying them a certain amount, and they're obviously paying their employees a lot more. So we're going to have to make adjustments there.
One of the other factors, Mayor, if I may just add one more.
Commissioner News?
I want to ask a question. I thought that's, the information that we're gonna get today, so we can make this decision. Charlie? That what, y'all didn't gather any of the information of how,
We're not finished with that, no,
so we're not done yet?
no, sir.
Because I think it's on, for our action item today.
Yes.
Mayor,
Commissioner Camarillo?
one of the other points I'd like to make is, if you look at GBIG and the work that GBIG does and what they request on any future business that's coming into Brownsville, their standard is, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, somebody could correct me, I believe it's $9 an hour.
Yep.
They say you will not pay anyone lower than $9. If you want to do business, if you want amenities, if you want resources, this is the way it's going to be. Now, this is GBIG, right?
Yeah, we also give out a lot of free land,
Right.
buildings and stuff as incentives.
But the standard is for their employees, the payment of their employees is no minimum than $9 an hour. And I mean, again, I know that we'll have to make adjustments internally at the city level. Again, I think it's only going to show a minimum increase if at best. Again, it's not going to break the city, and I don't think it's going to break future businesses here in Brownsville. That's my honest belief.
Assistant City Attorney, perhaps, the commission would feel more comfortable by knowing that PUB's already done this. Maybe you can get with PUB and bring back how they do it when they put it out for RFPs, and find out from them how they were impacted, how PUB was impacted. This was introduced to PUB and it passed and it's been used. So you might get it for the commission. Okay?
Excuse me, Mayor, but was it the same thing? It was the PUB employees or the
No.
contractors?
Subcontractors, contractors,
Subcontractors.
everything. We passed it at PUB. Remember, Father Jerry? I understand we did the contractors, subcontractors, where they're required to pay a minimum of $8.50. We'll find out from them, okay? Okay, any further discussion? Okay.
Just hope
Nobody
the
from the
commission will be
audience?
ready to, I'm
Okay.
sorry, Mayor, one more comment. I just hope that, again, I think this is something necessary and something we must do. That's it.
Thank you, Commissioner Camarillo. Okay, we have now, executive session.
Executive session, item A, discussion pursuant to section 551.072 of the Texas Government Code regarding real property.
So move we go into executive session?
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Longoria, second by Commissioner Garza. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. We'll be back in a few minutes. Is Bill Young around?
Hello. I'm reading the proclamation for
Okay, please rise. Face the flag. Ladies
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the
Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one, indivisible.
Father Jerry, would you please lead us in the invocation?
Let us pray. Lord, I ask one special favor of you this evening, that you give all the members of the City Council a spirit of impartiality, so that issues discussed will be seen on their objective value and worth in relationship to enhancing the quality of life of our people, and that egos and conflicts and personal issues don't cloud the way, but that they look out for what your people need and judge accordingly, and please give us them that enlightenment and that fortitude. Amen.
Okay, please be seated. Item A, Secretary.
Item A is action on items discussed in executive session, consideration and action regarding the sale of all or part of the Brownsville Golf Course.
I move to table indefinitely.
Commissioner Longoria makes a motion to table
Second.
indefinitely. Second by Commissioner Atkinson. All in favor?
Discussion.
Aye.
Discussion.
Okay, discussion.
Yeah, I just want to speak a little bit on this item. It's been brought to our attention before about the purchase of Brownsville Golf Course by BISD. We've got no information. We don't have an appraisal, and I think it's something that we don't wish to entertain right now. So with that,
So noted.
and by the way, it's Commissioner Cisneros' district, and he's been a strong advocate on why we should keep this golf course intact, and maybe he wants to say some more, though.
Yeah, I'd like to make a comment.
So noted.
And I just want to go on record to say that either we sell the whole thing or we don't sell anything, but I really don't want to sell anything.
Well, I think that if we
Wait,
even,
let's,
yeah, but
let
let me
me,
get the floor, Mayor?
let me point out this, okay. Just in the spirit of making sure this meeting runs properly, you will be asked to be recognized, and you will speak when you're recognized. If people are going to be jumping in, I will recess the meeting by not calling the next item or not recognizing the next speaker, which I am allowed to do in the Roberts Rules. So please, you ask that you be recognized, and I will recognize you for the
Mayor,
discussion.
I'm gonna speak.
Commissioner Cisneros.
I've talked to several residents that live around there, and they're opposed to wanting to do this. And if we were even considering doing this, we ought to bring this up for public discussion, have public meetings, and hear from the public first. I know that all our winter residents, that we're in our peak time right now, they use it all the time. So it's something that we offer as a city, so I'm opposed to selling it personally.
This is not a vote. Any further discussion?
For the record.
Be recognized.
Commissioner
Mr. Mayor,
Garza,
thank
please.
you very much. None of us commissioners have offered to sell the golf course. It's an individual that's out there that wants to buy the golf course on behalf of BISD. We have not offered. We have not asked. We have not set a price. We have not brought it up at all. It's not our idea. That's all I wanted to say.
You want to say something else? Anybody else? Okay, we have a motion, second to table indefinitely. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Okay, we go to the,
Item 1 is mayor's report, if we have one.
no, skip that one. Go to item 2.
Item 2, commissioners' reports. Do we have any?
I'll say a few
Commissioner,
words.
we'll start with Commissioner Camarillo.
Last week, had the opportunity to speak before Leadership Brownsville. City manager was there, Mr. Bin Ayala, and Commissioner Troyani, and I just want to wish the Leadership Brownsville good luck. These are the future leaders that are learning about this community. Not too many individuals have the opportunity to be a part of that organization, and so the select few that do, I congratulate them and I wish them the very best. This past week, also had the opportunity to speak to serve as a moderator for a presidential debate at Dr. Garcia Middle School. We had 8th grade, Ms. Catu's 8th grade class, debate the issues among themselves, and I thought it was a great learning opportunity for the students at Garcia Elementary, Middle School to participate in the democratic process, to learn about the candidates, their issues, and it was an exciting moment for me just to be a part of that. Third, I just want to also acknowledge that we're working with City Manager and our Public Works Department and with Planning Department regarding East Washington, West St. Francis, and San Pro Boulevard regarding sidewalks. I had the opportunity to walk around the area, and it's pretty bad areas that really do need some development of the sidewalks. So I look forward to working with the commission and our staff. And finally, tomorrow is elections are going on. I want to urge everyone in my district, everyone in the city of Brownsville, to go out, let your voice be heard. The power is in your vote, and please go out and vote. And just for the record, Commissioner Troyani probably will not attend tonight's meeting due to a disposition hearing that he's at. Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Cisneros?
Yeah, I just want to add that we're continuing to look at our streets in our district and throughout the city of Brownsville. We got a couple of streets that are coming out for repair. I want to thank Public Works and city staff and everybody that's involved with these projects, because there's a lot of good workers out there working for you all every day. And we're still looking at our drainage. That detention pond in Town North is complete, so I'll be setting a date for a ribbon cutting ceremony for that. So I'll let out the information as we acquire all the information. And on the skate park, we're still the plans are up to date. They're still working on them. The design plans are almost done. The guy through Spallglass and the design team, that's I think it's Mr. Spahn from California. And I know that's a real big deal for a lot of kids. They need a place to call home, so we're working on it, and hopefully we'll have it open this summer. And to reiterate what Commissioner Camarillo said, don't forget tomorrow to please exercise your right to vote. There's a lot of men and women that are in the armed forces and fighting currently right now today that defend our right to do that. So please, let's honor them by voting. Thank you.
Commissioner Longoria?
I'll present my monthly report at the next meeting.
Commissioner Atkinson?
I'd just like to tell the people on McDavid, I'm sure a lot of y'all go through McDavid, that street's horrible. And it's in my district, and I feel bad that we haven't gotten it done, but it's on the books in the next 2 months for it to get done. And if y'all don't know where McDavid is, it's off Boca Chica, goes by Buena Vista Funeral Home. That's the street. It's just so congested. It's been a nightmare to see how we're going to do that. So when we start doing that, please be patient. But that street is in dire need of help, and that's something that we're looking forward to getting done for y'all there. As far as some of the commissioners, I believe Commissioner Cisneros, myself, and Commissioner Troyani will be heading to Washington, D.C. Wednesday, and we'll be advocating for some of the things that we need here in Brownsville. And I've talked with John Bruziak today from PUB, and he's going to provide us the project that we've been wanting DHS and the federal government to pay attention to, which is the Weir Dam. The Weir Dam, in a sense, will help in providing an alternative to a steel fence, which is proposed here in our city. We need a lot of you out there to get on the internet, write to your congressman, tell them about what we're doing, what we're going to propose to them, because this Weir Dam, which we have close to $19 million saved already to do this project, and with the help of the federal government, instead of putting in millions of dollars into a steel fence, could help us by retaining water that we lose every year, and can also provide for an extra barrier to help with the virtual wall that is needed down here in Brownsville. And last but not least, the airport. We're also advocating for renovations to the airport. We're looking for a lot of grant money, federal monies, to help our airport. Just a huge uplift, infrastructure and everything. So with all these good people helping us, and GBEC and BDC, the help of Charlie Kabler, and all the commissioners here and the mayor, we want to thank the people that are making a strong effort at the airport, which is my district too. Thank you.
Commissioner Garza.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank Charlie Kabler and his staff, Estela Van Houten, City Secretary's office, for an outstanding job this past week during Mr. Amigo Association functions. Also, Carlos Garcia, Chief of Police, are you here, sir? Thank you very much for your outstanding security service provided to Mr. Amigo. Your police officers were outstanding. I call them elite police force in Brownsville. They, especially the color guard, they were incredible, beautiful. Thank you very much. And on the airport, just one thing, taxiway G is about 80% completed. That's the $11 million project. Taxiway G was whitened and resurfaced. It will be used for cargo, heavy cargo, and it's looking real good for the future of Brownsville. The airport cargo is going to come into Brownsville, believe me, heavy cargo. So it is money well spent. And just be patient with us. Give us a little time. We will get things done for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. We'll go to proclamations, National Athletic Training Month. City Secretary, is there anybody here to receive it?
National Athletic Training Month, is anyone present?
Were they contacted?
Bill Young usually contacts people.
Bill, did you contact them? Okay, so, we'll just put it aside for next, maybe,
Okay.
let them work on it for next meeting, okay? How about, the presentation of Employee of the Month?
Well, there's
Oh,
another
Youth Art
proclamation for Youth Art Month.
Proclamation of Youth Art Month.
Dr. Rendon, if you and Marcia Betancourt and any other students that wish to come up, please step up to receive this proclamation.
It's the whole room. Good job, Commissioner.
You can come around here, mija.
Right here.
Come this way. Come this way.
Did you help paint any of the?
Just come this way.
Help
Keep
paint
coming this way. There you go. Just come this way. There you go. Just go around like that.
Look at all this art
Talk about
talent.
that, so they first start first saying.
What's the place with it?
Oh, that's good.
They can get right in front of each other. It's okay. They can all fit. Make a nice picture. Come on.
There's some nice pictures there. All of them. All of them.
Is everybody in the picture?
Come on, Javier, you know you want to go up.
Okay, before I read the proclamation, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Dr. Rebecca Rendon and Ms. Marcia Betancourt for their presence, and all our art teachers from around the district, from the high schools, from the middle schools. Thank you for all your involvement in everything you do with these kids. It's truly an honor to see them and have their work displayed here at City Hall today. And Marcia, if it would be okay with you, we'd like to leave some of these paintings here, whatever you can leave, so that we can use it while we celebrate Youth Art Month, so that we could display it here at the City of Brownsville.
Thank you.
This is a proclamation of the City Commission of Brownsville, Texas, designating March 2008 as Youth Art Month in our city. Whereas Youth Art Month has been observed nationally and in many foreign countries since 1961 and has gained wide acceptance. And whereas childhood is the time to develop interests, skills, and aptitudes that will last a lifetime. And whereas through meaningful art activities, children develop initiative, self-expression, creativity, ability, self-evaluation, discipline, and heightened appreciation of their environment. And whereas the importance of art in education is widely recognized. Now therefore, we the members of the City Commission of the City of Brownsville, Texas, by virtue of the authority vested by the Charter of said city, do hereby proclaim March 2008 as Youth Art Month, and further urge all our citizens to become interested and give full support to quality school art programs for children and youth. Done this 4th day of March 2008, signed Pat M. Ahumada, Mayor, and the City Commission. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
I'd like to say a few words. Honorable Mayor Ahumada, City Commissioners, and citizens of Brownsville, I would like to thank you for this honor on behalf of the BISD Fine Arts Department. Our visual arts program prepares students to be successful contributors and members of society, and they learn to appreciate art as for its aesthetics contributions to humanity, explore and express emotion, grow socially, and prepare to become the leaders of the future. We hope to continue working with this partnership as we work to prepare tomorrow's leaders. I would like to acknowledge the students that are here before us today. The teachers are very hardworking contributors to this Fine Arts Department, our Director, Administrator of Fine Arts, and once again, thank you very much for your support to BISD and its art programs.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marcia.
Thank you.
I would just also like to thank Mrs. Betancourt, pretty much already gave all of the thanks and letting you know, but we did have a program last year also that the city supported that we appreciated very much, the bus Art on Wheels that we had, and it's really great to know that we can work together in a partnership because as you can see we have an incredible amount of talent here in our district. These fine art students in art are incredibly talented, and I thank all of you for giving us the opportunity to display their artwork here where you have many people that are coming in and out of this courthouse on a daily basis. So thank you again for your support, and I hope that we can continue to have that kind of support in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, boys and girls.
Thank you, guys.
Welcome. The proclamation is right here for you. No, I'm sorry. This is the other one.
Charlie.
Out in the depot, just get out.
Commissioner Camarillo.
Is that publicly or?
Yeah, publicly. Can you hear it? No, we won't.
He's an attorney.
Item 4,
Item 4, Employee of the Month for March.
Juan Olvera.
Mayor, members of the commission, please help me welcome our Employee of the Month for March, Mr. Juan Olvera. Juan's assigned to our Public Works Department. However, he works at City Hall, so we have the fortunate idea that we see him every day, and he works so hard for us. And during this Charter Days festivities, where Commissioner Garza thanked all the employees for the hard work they did for us during those charters, to make it successful. Juan's always scrambling around City Hall, making sure everything is done, prepared, cleaned. He hustles to City Plaza, helps out over there. And any place that he's called for, he's always willing to help us and assist us in anything that is needed from him. If his supervisor, Santana Torres, calls him to the Public Works Department, he responds out there and he helps out. So he's dedicated. He's an example of what a good city employee should be. So we wanted to honor him as Employee of the Month for March. Of course, he gets a day off of his choice with pay. So Santana's going to have to assign somebody here to clean up at City Hall. And he's eligible for City Employee of the Year at our annual banquet in December. So, and here's his plaque as the Employee of the Month in recognition of outstanding services rendered to the City of Brownsville for the month of March, and is presented this third day of March 2008 to Juan.
Felicidades,
Congratulations.
Muchas gracias por lo que haces, okay?
He gets a traditional cap and employee pin. So.
Thank you, Mr. Olvera, for everything you do.
And Santana and I will take him to lunch soon.
Thank you.
All right. Felicidades.
Gracias por la oportunidad que me dan de estar aquí y por trabajar con ustedes. Muchas gracias.
Gracias.
Gracias a ti.
Gracias a ti.
Okay, we'll move to the public comment period. The first to sign up is Mr. Robert Oresti. And we cannot respond, and we hope that your comments are not personal, and you'll stick within time limits, and that you follow the rules. Mr. Oresti, please proceed.
Mayor, City Commissioners, Roberto Uresti. On January the 8th, 2008, during a regular meeting of this body of city government, I came here to speak during the public forum, but the Assistant City Secretary informed me that I wouldn't be able to speak due to the fact that 5 citizens has already signed up for the public forum. That you, Mayor, limit the number of people to only 5 people times 3 minutes, equaling 15 total minutes allowed for any citizens of Brownsville to speak. I left the meeting and I was told later that other people were allowed to speak. Why was I not allowed to speak? Mayor, were there changes in the ordinance? I hope not. I bring issues and opinions, and sometimes I bring unacceptable things that are happening in the city government. Our city government is overtaxing, overspending, mismanagement of the use of taxpayers' monies on many money pits, like the city golf course, the bus system, the airport, the Fine Arts Museum, the tennis center, the event center, the out-of-control, over-budget super park. My concern is how bad our streets are. Our traffic light system is out of control. The poor pay of the city employees. Putting down PUB and asking for more money to supplement these entities. The city of Brownsville is building Eiffel Towers to nowhere. The taxpayers are putting up this cost. This city government is limiting a citizen like me the right to speak at this public forum. I am not here, Mayor, to hurt you or anyone. I worked for 30 years, especially in the Southmost area. I didn't take any credit for what I did over there. Zero. Because that's what a citizen is supposed to. And I don't even live in the South Bronx. I came here to Brownsville to work, to live, to help my community, and to die in Brownsville. But I was put down. I served my country, and yet I was put down. I come here, yet I'm limited to speaking at this forum. All the other major cities in South Texas, also known as the Valley, are surpassing Brownsville in business, tourism, better health care, etc. Our city government has forgotten why they were elected for the people or for something else. I'm asking the citizens of Brownsville right now, Mayor, to come here, to be given that opportunity to speak in front of you, to bring concerns. I have never been asked to be in any committees because everybody's afraid of me. Shouldn't be afraid of me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Oreste. Mr. Resendez, Alex, there you go. Welcome to our chambers, Alex.
Honorable Mayor and Commissioners, with all due respect, my name is Alex Resendez. You already know me, Reverend Alex Resendez. I was ordained by the good Lord upstairs. Anyway, I want to speak a little bit of Brownsville and America. America was founded, some say it was Judeo-Christians. Some say it was the Christians that founded America, especially George Washington, one of our first presidents here in America. And now we have a lot of conflict in America and in Brownsville, even here in this meeting. But I do want to thank you all for several things before I start, and I hope I got enough time to tell you. I want to thank you all for the good job that you all did in the parade and the fiestas. Everything was wonderful. It was beautiful. I mean, I want to thank you all on that, you know. I want to thank the guys that went to see Mr. Clinton, and they gave a very good speech, Mr. Cisneros. He said that we should vote because the guys that are fighting over there in Iraq or Iran, which are some of our boys, you know, they're fighting so that we can have the freedom to vote. But I also want to say that right here in America we got freedom of speech and freedom of religion. And I hope en la televisión me están viendo la libertad que tenemos para hablar y para tener la religión que nos dé la gana. We can be Muslims if we want to. We can be Christians. We can be Catholics. Okay? But we're not supposed to give all the power only to one entity because he looks pretty. Like, for example, if a Jew comes in here, we're not supposed to say, well, only Jews are going to pray. Hey, I take off my hat. Mayor was one of the first persons that asked me to pray for you all, and I did. ¿Me entiendes? He recognized me. I'm a street evangelist. I work the alleys, okay? I work the jails. I work people that come out of jail, okay? But I believe in Jesus Christ. I believe in freedom, and I also believe in freedom of religion. And I respect you all because you all have given some of the pastors that come here, you know, just because they got a little church, you've given them permission to pray. But that's all they want to do, you know, they want to pray. But America was founded in prayer. And it's a big shame. I went to see Mr. Clinton, and he allowed me to put my Bible on top of his head, you know, and I didn't have a chance to pray for him, but he did shake hands with me. I was one of the second persons to shake hands with me. Okay, that's it.
All right. Thank
Okay.
you, Mr. Resendez.
I think I made up my point.
Yes.
Okay?
Thank you. Okay, the next person is Richard Benson.
Commissioners and Mayor. I'm Richard Benson. I'm a resident of Brownsville, and I chose to speak about the golf course. I live down here for almost 8 months out of the year, and the other 4 months we still travel. And in my travels, a lot of people ask me where I'm from, and I tell them, and a lot of the first questions I get asked about the Rio Grande Valley is the golf situation. So it's really a pleasure to tell them what kind of a golf course we have here in Brownsville and also on up the valley. And I just want you to know that there's about 9 of us here tonight that we were given short notice. We didn't know about the meeting tonight, but so I apologize for not being better equipped. But just to reinforce, it is an asset for Brownsville. It brings a lot of winter Texans down here, and a lot of the winter Texans wind up being permanent residents down here, like myself. So I thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Benson.
Mr. Max Hobbs?
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, my name is Max Hobbs. I live at 155 San Diego. That's on the 14th hole at the golf course. As you can see, I would be greatly affected by any sale of the golf course. But I wanted to give you an idea of just exactly what we have at this golf course. We have a $1 million sprinkler system that we paid for, the taxpayers paid for. We have the top of the line equipment to maintain, and it's one of the best maintained golf courses in Brownsville and probably in the valley. It is beautiful. We have good management. I hope that the commissioners can take responsibility for that. But I'm also grateful for those guys who had the foresight. Well, I bought my home 12 years ago, and in the meantime it was on and off till it was rebuilt. But about 8 years ago, I think, the commissioners and the mayor decided to buy the golf course and rebuild it, and did a marvelous job. And for us to abandon that at this time, I think, would be a real criminal act. Like I said, the golf course is well maintained. They have all new buildings. Every facility is the top of the line. I just would plead with the commissioners to think about what this means to the city of Brownsville and the attraction that it is to Brownsville. If we want to grow to be a bigger and better city, and we are growing, no question about that. I really appreciate your listening to me, and I wish you'd consider it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your comments.
Mr. Clarence Belair? Beladia.
Good afternoon, everybody. Sir, I don't have much more to add to what Mr. Max has just said. I do know that 18 years ago I bought my property on the basis that the golf course was there, and I just assumed that the golf course was part of the community that we live in. Now I hear all this static about wanting to sell and what have you. I don't think the community as yet has learned about what is going on and what the intentions are of the golf course. I will try to make it known to the community that you do have plans. I don't know when, and I think it's going to be important for us to stay here and try to win this thing over. I don't have much more to say. Thank you.
Thank you,
sir.
I'll champion it for you.
Okay, City Secretary, item 6.
Item 6, consent agenda items A through G.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion to approve and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any discussion? Go ahead. Item, 7, I'm sorry. Item 7.
Item 7, public hearing and action on first reading of ordinance number 2008-1486 to extend the term of the Downtown Revitalization Advisory Committee, otherwise known as DRAC, indefinitely from the date of this amendment.
Commissioner Camarillo, you put this on the agenda?
Yes, Mayor, I'd like to make the motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Is there any
Oh,
discussion?
I think it's a close.
Public hearing?
I'm sorry, move to close.
Second.
Wait a second, it's a public hearing. We gotta open it up to public hearing.
It was open.
It was open. She read the call.
There's nobody here for or against? Okay. There's a motion, a second to close the public hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. This is an action item.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Camarillo, second by Commissioner Troyani. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries to approve. Item 8.
Item 8, public hearing and action on first reading of ordinance number 235-2008-013 to rezone from medium retail G to dwelling G classification, Lot 14A, 14B, and 14C of Block 2 of El Valle Grande subdivision, Section 1 replat, located near Alton Glore Boulevard and Madrid Avenue.
Honorable Mayor and City Commission, this is the area shaded in red. The applicant in this case would like to have residential homes. Right now, these are model homes where they were selling homes for the subdivision. Now they're going back as they were built for, as for homes. The Plan and Zoning Commission voted unanimously to approve this application. Recommend this application for your approval.
This is a public hearing.
I move to close.
Second.
We have a motion to close by Commissioner Longoria, second by Commissioner Camarillo. To close, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. This is an action item.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Troyani, second by Commissioner Garza. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item 9.
Item 9, public hearing and action on first reading of ordinance number 235-2008-014 to rezone from dwelling Z to medium retail G classification, Lot 7, Block 6 of Cameron Park subdivision located at 4627 Paredes Line Road, Brownsville, Texas.
Honorable Mayor and City Commissioners, this is the lot shaded in red here. In this case, the applicant would like to have some offices. The Plan and Zoning Commission voted unanimously to approve this application to you.
We'll close public hearing.
We have a motion to
Second.
close, second by Commissioner Garza. All in favor to close?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Move to approve.
Second.
A motion by Commissioner Cisneros, second by Commissioner, who is it, over here?
Atkinson.
Atkinson. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item 10.
Item 10, public hearing and action on first reading of ordinance number 235-2008-015-S to allow a general retail specific use in a medium retail area for Lot 4, Block 2 of Tandy's Corner subdivision located near Highway 100 and FM 803.
Honorable Mayor and City Commissioners, this is the lot here. In this case, the applicant would like to have a mechanic shop. The Plan and Zoning Commission voted to approve this application and recommend it for your approval.
Okay, this is a public hearing. Anybody for or against it? Can I have a motion? Close. Commissioner Atkinson to close.
Second.
Do we have a second?
Yes.
Commissioner Garza. All in favor to close?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Approve.
Motion by Commissioner
Second.
Atkinson to approve, second by Commissioner Cisneros. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Next item.
Item 11, public hearing and action on first reading of ordinance number 235-2008-601 to rezone from dwelling A to medium commercial classification, lots 13 through 16 and lots 31 through 33 of Block 16 of Beretta Gardens subdivision located near FM 1732 and US Highway 281.
Honorable Mayor and City Commissioners, this is a property shaded in red here. The location of this property is west on 281, and this is 1421 coming around here. The applicant in this case has one lot here
that wants to have a medium retail use, to have a labeling company, a labeling business. They develop barcodes for the McCullough industry, and they want to be located here. City and P&Z, city staff, and the Planning and Zoning Commission did a city-initiated just to extend this corridor here as medium C, because you have a junkyard right here. Okay, and then you have the military highway sewer package plant back here. So, we studied it. We felt that this was better used right now for commercial. It would abut an existing junkyard and a sewer plant, so other uses wouldn't be very good in that area, especially residential.
Okay, this is a public hearing.
Move to close.
For or against? Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Longoria to close, second by Commissioner Terani, is that right?
That's fine.
Okay, if you want to change it, we can change it. No, that's fine. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion to close passes. This is an action item, can we have a
Motion to approve.
motion to approve by Commissioner Garza?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Terriani. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item 13.
Item 12, public hearing and action on first.
City Secretary,
I'm
item
sorry.
13.
13 should be read first. Consideration and action to authorize the removal of 21 parking meters located at Taylor Avenue to make room for a new music education building at the University of Texas at Brownsville and Texas Southmost College.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. I'm here tonight to remove 21 meters from the construction by the Art Center by UTB behind the old the event center,
Jacob
Brown Event Center.
Move to approve.
We don't...
Wait, let him speak, he must be, let him speak and then be recognized so he can speak.
Well, I made the motion, Mayor.
You finish?
Yes, sir. Right now, I am. Do you have any questions?
Yes. You have a motion by Commissioner Camarillo,
Second.
second by Commissioner Cisneros. Discussion, any discussion?
Need the floor.
You have a question?
You said they're bringing in $55 a week each, or $55 overall?
Overall, on the 21 meters. It's kind of slow during the summertime, but in the wintertime, when school is in session, it does bring $55 to $60 a week. So it really totals up to be $2,675 per year, sometimes $3,000. It depends on the situation.
And the university wasn't willing to work out any other place for us to place these meters, or for a reimbursement type of for the loss, as minimal as it may be?
Well, the way we looked at it here, that we plan to transfer the meters to some other areas that the bus department and we're looking at areas. At this time, we did not discuss anything with UTB on the compensation of the meters being lost there. I do know that the road had to be readjusted, so I didn't really got to that point.
I would, I don't have anything against this project or anything, but, you know, we are pushing for the future to be a university town, but at the same time, this city has made many accommodations for the university, and as minor as some people might think it might be petty to bring it up, I would consider that they, you know, take into consideration that, you know, the accommodations that this city does make for it.
If you wish to table the item, we may do so, and we'll discuss with UTB, and we can discuss that, you know, the compensation on that part, Commissioner.
Can I speak?
Right. Commissioner Triani wishes to be recognized?
The question I have is, if we're simply going to move the meters while they relocate the road, why can't we just put them back on?
The way they design the road is, as I looked at it, there is no more right-of-way to install the meters back. They designed it without the meters.
Okay, is there not going to be any parking on that roadway now?
There will be five spaces on the south side on University Drive, which is the East Elizabeth, which is what is University Drive now. They have 4 spaces.
Okay, so you're gonna reduce the number to 4, and then that would be it, and the meters would be removed?
That is correct.
Okay.
The meters will be moved due to the construction of the new road, the realignment of the road.
Okay, thank you.
Atkinson?
Robert,
Sir?
I concur with Commissioner Longoria, and what I wanna know is, I know in some other universities in the state of Texas, when the student pays for their student parking, a certain fee goes to the city, like in San Antonio or in Houston, part of the fees that they pay goes to the city. Is that happening here at UTB? And if you don't know that answer, then maybe we should table it to find out if there's a fee that's being given to the city for student parking.
No.
No, there's no fee, as far as I
If
know.
there's no fee, then, we're gonna be losing out on all these meters that, UTB's been inquiring, and I know in the past the city's been real generous in giving Jacob Brown and all these other places that they need, and we understand, we support them, but it's never, we wanna know what, like what Commissioner Longoria said, reciprocated. We're gonna work with them, but it just seems like this city, and that's just UTB, maybe I'm going out on a limb by saying, but it just seems like everybody wants the city to help them, but what about giving back, so we don't have to raise taxes later, so we don't have to.
Well,
So-
Ambutex here, Commissioner, maybe we might redesign the road to go ahead and provide those 21 meters to reinstall them.
Is that a
Okay,
possibility?
we have the engineer here,
Yes.
Vicente.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. I'm Vicente Mendez with Ambutech, with the project engineers for the relocation. And basically, in the design, we're moving the Taylor Avenue to the north, and by doing that, we're eliminating some of the parking that's within the Jacob Brown parking lot. And it's really, one of the things we're trying to avoid is having cars back out onto Taylor. So that is the primary reason that we're doing away with those meters. As far as compensation, that item has not been discussed with the city, but we do have representatives from UTB here that would like to address that issue. It's very important for us to, try and resolve this, as quickly as possible.
Please,
Excuse me.
Go ahead, sir.
wait, you need to be recognized. Let him, he's been recognized. Go ahead.
Commissioners, I'm David Pearson, the Vice President for Partnership Affairs at UTB TSC, and I'd like to affirm that if the issue is the relocation of the meters, that we will work with the city to ensure the relocation of as many of those meters along the north side of Taylor Avenue as relocated as we can possibly fit in there if this is an issue of concern.
There you go.
Okay, you wish to be recognized?
Mayor,
Mr.
yeah, one
Camarillo?
misconception, and Commissioner Atkinson brought it up, was that the city gave the university Jacob Brown. The city didn't give anyone anything, and the university just didn't take it. That's something they paid for. So it's a facility that was purchased and bought. And the second thing, and Dr. Pierce could probably identify, what is the investment, what is the cost of that fine arts center that's going to be placed on that property?
It's $24 million, $24 million, it's slightly more than $24 million.
So $24 million is going to be put into that area, and the city doesn't benefit from that, makes a difference.
Let me ask you something. May I be recognized?
Yes.
Aren't you kind of conflicted with this since you work for UTB to be advocating for something for UTB?
I represent the city of Brownsville at this point.
Well, you're
and
representing
the
UTB.
and the university.
Wait.
I think I had the
Yes,
call.
yes.
I mean, it seems like, and, that if your best interest is the city right now, is to look for compensation for the city, what
correct.
we're gonna get back, because it's not a secret that, maybe, the UTB has paid for some stuff, but we've been real generous, and you can't say that we haven't been real generous, and I think your hat should be the city of Brownsville right now, and not UTB.
Well, let me reaffirm that it is with the city of Brownsville, because I actually represent the area in which the university is at. So keep that in mind, that the university is in my district, and so I'm constantly looking for the benefit of the city, which actually encompasses the university. So there is zero conflict of interest when it comes to the representation of my district commissioner, just to let you know.
Okay.
Mayor, I'm gonna have the floor.
Commissioner Cisneros?
Dr. Pearson, I just want to thank you. I know, I guess, that some of the commissioners addressed that concern, and you're willing to work with that concern by working to reinstall those meters. So,
We're certainly willing to do
if that's part of
that.
the action,
Well, are we gonna get that in writing?
You
Well,
need
if that's
to,
part
you
of the
can't
action, I'm
speak
okay
out of
with that.
turn. Let him speak, please, Commissioner Atkinson. Go ahead,
I'm done.
Commissioner Sinoes. You finished? Okay. Dr.
Ferrari.
Pierce, you want to say something?
I'll affirm on behalf of the University of Texas at Brownsville TSC that we will work with the city to relocate as many of those parking lots along the north portion of Taylor Avenue as relocated as we can fit in that area.
Okay, is there any commissioner that has not spoken on this issue twice that would like to speak on it again? Okay. Commissioner
Dr.
Troyani.
This is for a music hall, correct?
Yes, sir.
Is this also going to be a place where there's going to be concerts and it's going to be a venue as well?
This is going to be a place where not only music education is going to take place, but also theater, concerts, performing arts in the broad sense, available not only to the university community, but to the city of Brownsville and to all of the Rio Grande Valley. It's a facility which is going to have somewhat on the far side of 800 seats, and it's going to be so constructed as to be able to bring the Class A acts, which heretofore we haven't been able to bring to the city of Brownsville simply because the facilities we have don't support those kinds of acts. So in our view, and it will be a major contribution to our community writ large. And we also have, Mr. Mayor, if you're interested, we have a very brief slideshow we could show both the exterior and some of the interior functions of that, if you believe that'd be appropriate.
Do you have it here?
Yes, sir, we do.
I think it would be great. I think it'd be helpful.
Can we read number 12,
Oh, that's what I wanted to hear.
Mayor?
Pardon me?
Can we read 12, and that relates to abandoning the property for...
Okay, let's lay this on the table and come back to it. Can we have a
Thank you,
motion?
Doctor.
Can we have a motion to lay this on the table?
I want to make a motion to table this until we get some numbers and something in writing.
He's going to give a presentation. You don't want to see the presentation?
I'd like to see the presentation.
I'll see the presentation.
Okay, we have a motion to lay this on the table?
Yes.
Yes, we'll have a motion to hold this pending the presentation.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Troyani. Can I have a second?
Second.
Okay, second by Commissioner Garcia. Lay it on the table. We'll come back to this. Item 12, please.
Item 12, public hearing and action on first reading of ordinance number 2008-1487 to abandon and close a portion of Taylor Avenue between University Boulevard and May Street and to accept a new right-of-way alignment.
And first, let me explain. The reason we went to 13 before 12, because that's the instruction I got.
Yes, sir.
Okay? Go ahead. Dr. Pierce.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Art Center we consider it to be the centerpiece, the keystone of all of the construction that's currently going on in the UTV-TSC campus, some approximately $140 million of new construction in total, plus a series of renovations of many of our existing buildings. You can see on this is an artist's rendition of the elevation looking from across the Fort Brown Resaca toward the Arts Center. And not as good as we saw it on the but one can see the location. Let me point it out for you because some of the colors aren't coming through. The spiral shape is the footprint of the building. The white space down toward the lower left is the Fort Brown Resaca. And the area, the white space to the left of the Art Center is the area for the Chamber of Commerce. So you can see that the design of the facility is roughly what some would call a spiral galaxy, some would call a nautilus, and the structure is also one which is oriented in such a fashion that the major view from historic Gorgas is going to be one approaching through the area where you see the trees there. And let's see if we can have the next slide, please. This is the main entrance to the facility as you'll see it approaching from Gorgas Hall. You can see we have a series of arches. When you're looking at them from the Resaca area, they look square, but as you begin to enter through, you're entering through Gorgas arches, the same style, the same dimensions as those found in historic Fort Brown. Another artist's view of what the facility will look like, and you can see the outside, the columns, but as you peek through into the entrance areas, you see the arches area. Here we show the footprint of the first floor, the entrance hall toward the bottom. We have a large rehearsal hall and a medium rehearsal hall. We have a patron's room, which will be on the second floor above this. But also you see the concert hall and the stage. Very elegant facility. We'll show you an interior picture in a moment. The second floor, medium rehearsal hall off to the right. This will also double as a patron's room. There'll be a balcony outside of that where those people on concert nights will be able to overlook the Resaca and the Fort Brown buildings. This is a picture of what our facility will look like from the inside. This is an actual photo of the Kincaid Theater in Houston, the Kincaid School in Houston. Studio Red, our architects, are also the designers for this facility, and with the exception of a slightly different color scheme, this is the facility that's going to be built on the UTB-TSC campus. And let me reiterate, if I may, just ever so briefly, that the value of this facility, not only for our university community, but for the community, the city of Brownsville, is very substantial. We believe that it will promote all of the values that we all hold dear, which are economic development, cultural enhancement, as well as the development of the institution itself. Thank you very much.
Okay, this is a public hearing. Is there anybody in the audience who want to speak on behalf of this? Please come forward.
Mayor, City Commissioners, my name is Joe Gavito. I'm the Heritage Officer for the City of Brownsville. The only reason I'm here this evening is a phone call that I received from the Heritage Council. There's a rail that looks like a single rail right where the meters are that we're discussing in your agenda item. That rail most likely was a military railroad that was established right after the Civil War, and it was a military railroad, and it broke or was bankrupt, or it was shut down, that's a better word for it, in 1872. The officers brought those rails and used them for a curb in front of their officers' row, and you can see it visibly on the it's still there, and our concern is for us to preserve that little bit of history. Thanks, sir.
Can I see that picture? Looks like a good rail for skateboarders.
Yeah, please approach the podium, and Mr. Walker.
I'm sure they use it. I'm sure they use it, yeah.
The chamber's over here.
Okay, Mr. Walker, go ahead.
Go ahead. Let me see that picture.
Honorable Mayor, City Commissioners, my name is Calvin Walker. I'm a local architect, and this is my son, Calvin. I'm a member of the Board of Directors of the Chamber of Commerce, and I serve on the Heritage Council, but I want to be very clear, I'm not here representing either one tonight. I'm here as a private citizen. I moved to Brownsville in 1967 from New Orleans straight out of college with the intention of working here for 1 year and returning to New Orleans with some architectural experience. I'm married into the Latin culture, and I'm still here. I've spent my entire architectural career in Brownsville, and I love this city. Sometimes it takes an outsider to move here, see the potential, and remind natives about the treasures that exist in this historical city. Growing up in New Orleans taught me the value of historical sites and buildings and the importance of things that some people might consider insignificant. Interestingly, New Orleans and Brownsville had a shipping connection for more than 50 years, from 1849 to 1904, when the railroad arrived. Calvin and I are here tonight not necessarily to object to the closing of Taylor Street, but to offer a positive suggestion on this issue. I walked along Taylor Street this morning and took a photo, but unfortunately the machine is not working, so I can't show it to you. It shows a piece of the railroad track along the north side of Taylor Street. I counted 8 such pieces of rail embedded in the asphalt pavement. Taylor Street is named for General Zachary Taylor, who became the 12th President of the United States. Think about the significance of this street. Named for Old Rough and Ready, who became President. It was the main street of Fort Brown, which separated the parade grounds from the officers' quarters. It ran from Elizabeth Street east for about 5 blocks. Let me remind you of those historical figures who walked this street. General Robert E. Lee and General Ulysses S. Grant, the 2 key figures at Appomattox. General Abner Doubleday, father of baseball. General John Blackjack Pershing, who chased Pancho Villa back into Mexico. General Billy Mitchell, who had the raid on Tokyo during World War II. Charles Lindbergh, here for the dedication of our airport in March 1929, spent the night at the Commandant's residence prior to his return flight with airmail to Mexico City.
The commandant's residence and other officers' quarters along Taylor Street have all been removed since I've lived in Brownsville. That's 41 years. So how can we remember in the future where Taylor Street was? Let me give you a quick example. At a recent seminar, a guest speaker was an Austin architect who was hired to design a new elementary school in the oldest black neighborhood in Austin. The neighborhood families wanted their own school so much so they were willing to sell their homes and properties to Austin ISD to do so. After analyzing several options throughout the neighborhood, a site was chosen involving about 30 lots. Each family agreed to sell for the good of the neighborhood, but for some families, it was a difficult decision since their homes had been in their families for more than a generation. Noting their apprehensions about leaving their family homesteads, the architects had a surveyor plat the front door locations of each house on a site plan. Then, a 12-inch by 36-inch granite marker was made for each house. The number of the house, the street name, and the family name was placed on the marker. All 30 markers were subsequently placed exactly where the front doors previously existed. Some markers wound up inside the new school, in the cafeteria, corridors, and lobby. Most were in the parking lot or playfields. At the dedication of the completed school, a teacher approached the architect and said, "Every time I walk to the new classroom, I pass a marker of my best friend's doorway. I walked through that doorway hundreds of times growing up, and I want to thank you for that memory." So, I challenge the university and their architect. Consider embedding the steel rails in concrete in the parking lots, drives, etc., to indicate where they were located so that in the future, when my son Calvin is on a school tour of the new Fine Arts building, a guide can point to the rails and say, "That's where the famous Taylor Street used to be." It's such an inexpensive thing to do. Wouldn't it be great to approximate the location of those 7 officers' quarters doorways and commemorate their locations with granite markers also? In closing, Dr. Juliet Garcia has been sympathetic to historical architecture in Brownsville. The university, through her directives, have been responsible for recycling many of our historical landmarks. I have long been an admirer of her accomplishments. I know she is capable of doing something to indicate where Taylor Street used to be, not just for students like Calvin, but for the generations that follow us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Walker.
Dr. Pierce?
Mr. Mayor. Along the lines that Mr. Walker suggested, again, I will affirm on behalf of the University of Texas at Brownsville, Texas Southmost College, that we will do something similar to what he suggests, that to the maximum extent possible, we'll preserve that. The areas which are where the track currently is, many of those are going to be grassy areas after the relocation of Taylor Avenue. It'll be very easy for us to embed those in the pavers, in the landscape. We will, and if the commissioners think this is appropriate, I'd certainly be pleased to put this in writing on behalf of the university and present that to you. But the university, as Mr. Walker mentioned, we're very committed to historical preservation. We're currently involved in the restoration of the commandant's quarters, of the cavalry building, of the commissary on our campus. We've recently worked with the city of Brownsville to bring back the Neutra House out on Paredes line. And we've also been responsible for the rehabilitation of the Cueto building, the Young House, and other buildings both on campus and in the community. So the dedication of the institution to historical preservation, I think, has been demonstrated, but certainly we will demonstrate it yet again in this instance if the commissioners wish for us to do that.
Mayor,
Commissioner Snows.
I just want to thank Mr. Walker, Mr. Gavito, and yes, Mr. President, I personally would like for you guys to look at that, and thank you for bringing up those good points to our attention.
Commissioner Atkins.
Let me ask you something. So you okay with, in light of what's been said today, if we table this and get stuff in writing and work with, I know our Heritage Council can work with UTB, seeing what we can do for that street as far as even, keeping it the way the history books have it. Do you mind if we table it? Would you mind?
Well, speaking on behalf of the university, because of the enormous inflation in costs for construction, tabling this for an additional month will cost us many tens of thousands of dollars.
Let me ask you something. And it says here, abandon and close it. I know a lot of people use that street, and I know.
Commissioner Maskey?
Yes.
We're exchanging properties. We're not going to close Taylor Avenue is gonna be redesigned. And the agreement will be to redesign, the road.
Whose cost?
No, it's their cost. We're swapping properties. Taylor Avenue will be rerouted. We will have the new road done to the specifications of the current road. We have to remove the meters for now for the construction phase of this. It'll be optional for us to return the meters back to the locations of the new street once the street is done. Till then, we can find other locations within the city to install the meters, and we're looking at viable locations. For example, the properties we purchased where we're doing the multimodal terminal is a possible location. But if you wish to approve this, we will review the contracts with the university before we sign to assure that that's the case. The university is willing to address the issue of putting the historical markers, and also the idea of doing the road to the specifications that we have now with the current roads we're gonna abandon, and we will have the option to return the meters once construction of this project is done.
May I add one additional thing? We have already submitted to the city in writing our promise to pay for the relocation of Taylor Avenue.
Assistant City Attorney, we can approve this subject to incorporating the suggestion from our heritage officer and Mr. Calvin Walker to preserve this landmark as it was in the 1870s.
That's correct. You can approve it with almost any kind of conditions you want.
So the commission can go ahead and approve this today?
Yes.
Subject to, okay.
One more.
Anybody else over there in the audience wants to speak for or against this?
I want to say one more thing.
Commissioner Atkinson?
Mr. Goodman, can you come up real quick? 'Cause I know you're a real historic buff. I want to know your feelings on this, getting rid of a street that's been there forever.
Well, as they say, it is gonna be rerouted.
It's rerouted, but I'm talking about the street itself
Yep.
being demolished.
The street itself is not historic. It's the remnants of the rail that have been placed there that are historic. We've had a fabulous relationship with the university, especially in the last 2 years, and coming to us for reviews of absolutely everything, and also participating in things they didn't even have to participate in because we asked them for their expertise, and we work very closely with them. I have no doubt that they'll do whatever they promise us, and I'm sure that the city attorney can make sure that it's in writing. We often, by the way, issue permits that are conditional, such as what you're talking about. In other words, we'll let somebody, we call it a P&J, which is a Peter and Joe. Instead of having to call another meeting, we'll get somebody who's an applicant to agree to something, such as what the university is agreeing on. We don't have to call another meeting. Joe and I will handle it alongside with the applicant, and so we don't have to have the whole Heritage Council come back. The university has followed through on absolutely everything they've offered. In fact, they've done more than they've offered in most cases. So I have no concerns about their intent to do the right thing. So,
Okay.
in the past, historically, they've been our best asset in the city, so.
Commissioner Triani?
My recommendation is that we close the public hearing, that we hold a vote to approve the item here, and then we amend that to include language which would allow Mr. Goodman and Joe to meet with the university so that all parties are satisfied.
Make the motion to close the public hearing?
Motion to close public hearing.
Second.
Okay.
Second by Commissioner Cisneros.
I move to approve the item.
Okay, let me close the public hearing.
Okay.
All in favor to close?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Now we have a motion to approve the item, subject to?
Well, first, we'd have to approve the item, and then we'd have to ask for an amendment to the item. So, move to approve the item, and somebody needs to make a movement.
Second.
Okay, well, then we need to have somebody make a motion
We
to
have a
amend.
motion to approve.
A motion to amend.
12, second by Commissioner Cisneros. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Go ahead.
Motion carries.
Motion to
The
amend.
amendment?
Move to amend the item so that at the time that it's implemented, that there is discussion or a commitment from the Heritage Committee and the university regarding the placement of the historic rail and any other historic design effects that would be necessary to preserve the nature of Fort Brown within the item, and that would go through the City Heritage Committee.
Yeah, and we think that's working very well because they're working on the Commandant's house now, the Commander's house, which is in that same area.
Okay, can we have a
Doing it
second?
through the Heritage
Second
Council.
to approve the amendment?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Camarillo to approve the amendment as stated by Commissioner Troyani. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Now can we go to item 13? Can we
Consideration act- do you
bring
want me to
back,
read it again?
bring back, item 13, motion to bring back item 13?
Motion to approve 13.
Okay.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Cisneros.
No, somebody. Second.
I'm sorry, Camarillo. All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, what do you say? It's supposed to be to bring back, and then we have a discussion, and then we close, okay? The motion should be to bring it back, okay? Commissioner
So moved.
Triani, okay?
Correct.
Second? Okay. The motion to bring it back, it was laying on the table. Item 13, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion's, back on the table. Can we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Move to approve.
We have a motion to approve by Commissioner over here. Who was it over here?
Camarillo.
Camarillo.
Second.
And second by Commissioner Troyani to approve. Any discussion? Any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen.
Mayor, the condition here is that the road that we are the new road will be the same width as the road we're giving up. And that's been agreed upon by the university.
Okay, let's go item 14, City Secretary.
Item 14, consideration and action on resolution number 2008-030 in support of maintaining a higher minimum wage requirement for all contractors doing work for the city of Brownsville.
Move to table.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Longoria. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Mayor, I'm sorry, well, before you take the vote, again, I know Commissioner Trani wasn't here, we had the workshop. I don't know if he had anything he wanted to say. I think the sentiment of based on the motion, the second, is to table it, regarding some of the other issues with some of the other contracts, numbers that we haven't gotten, or we just got into a while ago. I still believe that any of the costs, the additional costs that we're going to incur is gonna be very, very minimum to the city. But with that, I know staff is still working on a definite numbers, and I stand ready to go ahead and to wait for the definite numbers to come in, so that there's an idea of what that increase would be to the city, so that everyone would have the chance to approve. I don't know if you have anything you wanted to add.
Okay, so
I guess we're still, obviously
Commissioner Triani.
sorry. Obviously, we're still pending the information from city staff, is that correct? Okay, then I would wait for that information as well.
So we have a motion and a second. Do we, any more discussion? And we'll call for a vote. All in favor of the table?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item 15.
Item 15, consideration and action to authorize the city manager to hire the lobbying firm of Murray, Montgomery, and O'Donnell of Washington, D.C. to represent the city of Brownsville in city-related issues between March 4th and March 7th of 2008.
City Commissioners, this is a one-time fee that we want to pay the lobbyists for the trip that's going to occur this week with you, Mayor, and some of the commissioners.
I just want to ask, how well aware are they on our projects?
The information I receive is they're fully aware.
Okay, and this is the lobbying firm for PUBs, is correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes?
Yes, sir.
All right, and they've been updated on everything that we're going to go present up there? 'Cause I know I've gone previous years, and we really need to get a lobbying firm that's going to represent the city.
I gave it to you.
City.
That's pending, Mayor, Commissioner, as far as getting it on the agenda for a lobbyist firm. And hopefully we can do that at the next meeting. This is a one-time fee for this one trip.
Okay.
The lobbyist firm is very confident that they're prepared to assist us in any way, and they've been notified of the agenda items that we'll have when we arrive in Washington.
All right, well, I'm leaving Wednesday morning, and we'll be up there, and we'll make sure that they earn every penny.
And what experience do they have?
Well-recognized lobbyist company, they're part of our RFQ to solicit a firm.
And they're not here today?
No, sir, they're not here. I didn't ask them to be here. I'm just putting it on the agenda that this is a firm that we can get at this time to represent us when we make a trip.
Charlie, how much are we gonna pay in these 4 days? What are we paying?
My verbal agreement with them is no more than $5,000.
Commissioner Atkinson?
Wait a minute, you gotta be recognized. Go ahead.
Okay.
I just wanna know how much are we paying these individuals for 4 days, and you mentioned it's 5,000. So is this one gentleman that's coming with us? Is it 3, 4, 5 people that are gonna be attending with the rest of the commission?
We hired the firm,
Okay, so then,
so if you want 1 or 2 or 3,
How,
that's why I put it on the agenda, let me know,
right.
and we'll get the whole,
My concern is that if it's 5,000 and we're paying for one individual, does that include cost? Do we pay for their cost, their flight, their meal?
We hired the firm, Commissioner, not one individual.
Okay.
So, if you want more than one there, I think they're understanding of that.
how do we come up with the fee?
Commissioner
Excuse me. How do we come up with the number of 5,000? I mean, is that something we paid in the past, or?
Well, we usually pay, when we had a firm, we would pay $10,000 a month.
That was a month, Charlie. This is a one-trip deal. You know what I mean? I just got some concerns, because
I put it on the agenda.
We're already there.
I put it on the agenda, so you guys can tell me yes or no.
I wanna recognize the mayor. Go ahead.
Commissioner Atkinson, actually, this is the way it started. I was planning a trip to Washington to lobby on the Weir as a virtual fence, and the issue came up that the city wanted to go and lobby on some important
Real quick.
funding. Allow me to finish. I have 10 minutes to speak. I have 10 minutes.
Real quick, before, I don't wanna,
I have 10 minutes to speak.
I don't wanna be, this is for legal. Is it okay that he can pass me the gavel so he can engage in discussion, or? I just wanna make sure, I don't wanna get in trouble.
I hate to dodge it, but I'm not your expert on parliamentary procedure, on Robert's rules, and I'll be honest with you, I frankly do not know.
Anthony?
It's allowed.
The only concern that I would have with it would be that I think the mayor should have maintained the gavel, but he's saying that he's passed it to you, you've accepted it at this point, let's go with it.
First of all,
Go
it's
ahead,
allowed.
Mayor, I just wanted to make sure.
That's fine. And the city was looking to losing funding because we had not submitted the appropriation forms for a lot, I'm talking about millions of dollars. So I got the PUB lobbyist to help us with this. They sent us the forms. I sent them to the city manager, to send them to Ben, to get these forms filled out. This was last week. The deadline was Friday, right, Charlie?
Yes, sir.
The deadline was Friday. If we didn't get these forms in by Friday, we would lose all appropriations, like for bus, transportation, HUD monies, and all that stuff. Thanks to the PUB lobbyist who's willing to help us for a one-time fee of $5,000, the city's gonna make millions of dollars. So I don't think it should be an issue. In fact, I brought it to Charlie's attention and asked that he put it on the agenda, and I don't think it should be an issue to hire them for a measly $5,000 when we're looking to lose millions of dollars in appropriations for a lot of federal funds that come in our way.
What experience do they have on, I know they're gonna go lobby on the Ware Dam. As far as for PUB, what are they bringing to the table of their knowledge of the bus, of the Resaca restoration, and, the airport? Why aren't they here so we can know what's their experience in that? I mean, we just barely got our packets too, and we're going with it. What do they know about I know what they want with PUB, but what do they want with this? What's their knowledge about the city proposals that we're taking up there too? And are they gonna be fighting for those proposals, or for what their proposals are for PUB?
No.
I mean, it's one and the same to me, but.
May I be recognized by the chair?
Go ahead.
You're asking me, do you want to respond?
Well, I think he's the chair at this point because you've passed the gavel.
Yeah, hold on.
Well,
Let me recognize Commissioner Trani.
You know, the only problem that I have with this situation is that we only have one lobbying company in front of us. This is one firm, and so there's really no choice because we're going Wednesday morning.
That's right.
You know, the mayor's right, you know, we don't want to lose these funds. Whether or not this firm or some other firm would be better suited, that's kind of moot because we're going on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And if we don't hire a lobbying firm, we're going to be up there lobbying on our own behalf, which, you know, we may be effective or not. And that's really the point that we're in. And that's kind of a sad point to be in.
Mr.
You know,
Mayor Pro Tem?
I don't mean to slight,
We're one commission meeting away from finalizing our recommendation as to who should be the city lobbyist. We're one meeting away. We had to go through a process and evaluations, and we're just about finished.
well, I mean, and I hate to say it, because I know we've already allocated the funds for the trip, but I mean, are we really in a position to go on this trip when, you know, we're still haggling over who the lobbying company is? I mean, that,
Well, I think the lobbyist is to get you in the door with people that we need to meet, and
Yeah.
we'll have employees going with you that understand the issues and can talk to the people that we're gonna meet with in Washington.
Okay, can I be,
Let me
can
ask,
I be recognized real quick?
Commissioner Cisneros.
The problem I have is that when we have a lobbyist, we need someone that's gonna continue to follow up on these projects. This is a one-time deal. Who's to say that they're gonna not get paid their $5,000, and they're not gonna continue to push these projects that we're going up there to meet with the congressmen and the senators and keep people in Washington? We need to have someone that's gonna be on our team, on our side, fighting for our constituency, fighting for federal monies 100% of the time.
All I can
That's just
say,
my concern.
all I can do is answer again, this is for a one-time meeting,
And I have a
and
problem
our
with
next
that.
meeting, we're going to have, well, then, your option is to cancel the meeting.
No,
May I
I
be
think we're a
recognized?
little late on that.
I-
And the
I
thing
don't-
is that Mayor, you've talked to these people at PUB, and you've talked to them. We never got information. I know the projects because I've been to these meetings before, past years. I know Larry Brown goes up there, and I know the airport projects. I know Ben Medina goes up there, and we do the HUD projects, Norma Zamora for transportation projects. But we need someone, and I'll just say it again, that's gonna be 100% behind the city of Brownsville. And if you're gonna find a lobbyist and ask them to go, Mayor, they need to give us information, because we're going over there representing our constituency. We need to have that information as well from that firm.
May I respond, Commissioner?
Let me give Commissioner Garza's been waiting.
I just want to make the motion to go ahead and approve, authorize the city manager to hire the lobbying firm of Murray, Montgomery, and O'Donnell. We need to do it, we need to do this, folks. So I make that motion.
Okay.
Mayor Pro Tem, make one question, actually, it's a question.
Okay.
City manager, has this lobbying firm already set up meetings for the next 3 days?
Yes, so working with a group that's gonna travel, the city employees,
So meetings have already been established with key congressmen and senators?
yes, sir.
Now may I respond?
is, Mr. Medina here?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir,
Mr.
yes.
Medina.
Go ahead, Mayor, I'm gonna say some words.
We had talked about different meetings, and I know the mayor wanted to talk about the Weir project. Have we also talked or set up anything as far as the levy issue while we were gonna be up there? Was that anything else that was addressed?
This is the binder of projects that we
Mhm.
have. And, in this binder, it's categorized and separated by the different congresspeople and senators. And keep in mind, in these trips, you do not only visit your Texas delegation of senators, you have to go to, like, for example, Senator Oberstar, that's Representative of Ohio, and he's in charge of the Transportation Committee. So it's very important that we see him. It's not only the Texas delegation, but also from other states that represent key committees. In this binder, you have the bus proposals with the multimodal, et cetera, Department of State with the Florida Mayo Bridge. You have EPA with a project that we've been working on tire recycling. And then you have all the airport projects of hangars, extension of runways, et cetera. You have the recycle restoration that was mentioned, amendments to the I-69 language. So you see, there's an sundry of different projects, and maybe we all have to split up to attend different meetings. Working with the firm, we don't have a definite meeting schedule, but they promised it, later on tonight or very early in the morning. So it'll be a busy meeting, a busy 2 days.
So you're saying it's very fluid, and at this time, there's meetings that haven't been scheduled, and that we're gonna still need to have those done before we get there?
Yes, there's some,
The only question I have with that, Ben, and I've been to these legislative things or whatever, lobbyists just takes you around and gets you, but I mean, that's something you could do and set appointments up with these congressmen, 'cause- or with their staffers. I mean, to me, a lobbyist is just another person,
Let
Don't
me
get me
correct
wrong,
that.
we need them, but for that
If I'm-
big of a amount,
If I'm in this particular trip, I think it's gonna be, they're gonna open up the doors for us, and that's what they're trying to do, but that's my point exactly, that we need someone that continues to push these projects, because it's all who you know, and we need a good lobbying firm that's gonna continue to keep pushing these projects and keep them on top, and
Yeah.
keep these key figures and keep people in Washington, abreast of what's going on and pushing for federal monies. Because when we get to Washington, and you've been there with me, Ben, you know we're gonna hit the ground running, and we're gonna make
That's
sure we talk to people.
And let me
But once
do-
this lobby has opened up the doors, we're gonna do the selling for the citizens of Brownsville. We're gonna be the ones trying to get, these projects funded.
Yeah, and let me clarify something. It's not really a lobbyist, you know, it's a consultant because, you know, it's not lobbying for different things. Basically, it's a consultant that will assist staff and the commission prepare proposals and identify who the key people in different agencies are, so make sure that our proposals get to the right place.
let me ask you something, does that have anything to do with all that stuff that's written there? That, anything to do with that? Because to
Well-
me, that's written out, that's, anybody can go in there and give that to a staff member for a congressman or the congressman. Like, someone like you knows everything that's in there.
Yes, sir.
What is this, consultant gonna do that you can't, or that we can't advocate with you? Because most of these things are just, is who's aggressive enough to
And
put out these proposals.
And that's true, but when it comes to, when on the floor of a particular day, there's some recommendation in a committee where a decision's gonna be made on what earmark or what proposal's gonna get funded, we do not have the time to get on a plane and go to Washington and lobby for that. We need a consultant that is there and can track different committees happening at different times of the year where allocation's gonna be done, that they're there, and that's the most important thing, that they're there and they push that proposal for Brownsville, Texas.
Now, let me ask you something real quick. How long ago did you know we were going up there?
Okay, Commissioner, we...
And why wasn't this approved, like, at least
Well,
4
let me-
weeks ago, so we can meet with these guys and
Okay.
create a game plan and...
Let me give you in a nutshell real fast, okay? We every year, as staff and as directors, know when the due dates of those proposals are. We were already working with them and we had submitted them, okay? But we, months ago, had, as a matter of fact, a year ago, had gone for RFPs to hire a consultant, but that was delayed and tabled. The time and looking at the way Congress is working right now, you know, we had a continuing resolution last year that lasted into October, November, and then this year, what is the best time? You kind of have to feel, you know, when's the best time when Congress, there's a lot of things, there's an election year, so when is the best time to go? We decided that this first week in March is the best week. Later on this month, there's other organizations such as the National League of Cities, you know, Home Builders Association, all having big conventions in Washington that we won't find a room to stay at. People will be busy. This big lobbying groups, you know, tie up all the Congress people. We're a small city. We have a limited budget. We don't have time or the money to go out and spend on providing meals to different people. We kind of do it on a budget, and we're very effective. But we felt, and working with O'Donnell, said this is the best week. This is the window of opportunity that we have. So the county is also going on their own trip at the same time with us. So
Are they helping us pay for this, or they have their own agenda?
yes, we have Morrison Road. We have the East Loop that they're working on.
Are they helping us pay for this,
The lobbyist.
the lobbyists?
No, they're not. They're doing their own.
Paying their own to the same lobbyists?
No, they're doing their own. The staff themselves is doing their own.
They're doing their own planning. If you want to hire the county, maybe we'll hire the county.
Don't be smart, man. You want me to
You
read
know,
this, or what?
May I?
I'm
Pizza
kidding.
Pulula,
Go ahead.
they've
You know,
they've offered to go with us at any time as well. Pizza Pulula, they frequently go to Washington D.C. You know, if you
If I
want us
may.
to work something out with them, we'll work something out with them.
This is the 11th hour. You don't go to court without an attorney. You don't go
That's
to
right.
Washington without a lobbyist. We need to hire a firm. You know, the only thing that I would suggest is that after we get back, if we don't like the way things turned out or if we want to change, we need to do that quickly. the city needs a lobbyist. We need people who are gonna look out for our best interests, because it's our responsibility to look out for the city, okay? And so,
Will
let's,
you second,
I'm gonna second Commissioner Garza's motion to approve for the limited purpose of this one trip, and then we need to get on the stick and get a lobbyist. This is, you know, this looks bad on us, it looks bad on, the community, and we need to get going, and we need to get some things done this week.
Any more discussion?
Commissioner?
Mayor, go ahead.
Thank you, Commissioner. After I was planning my trip, Ben made it known to me he wanted to go to Washington. We had no lobbyists, so I recommended that we hire this lobbyist from PUB at $5,000 one-time fee, which normally I think we were paying $15,000 per month, so it's a reduced cost. And they were kind enough, they don't have to do this, they're doing it as a favor more than anything, I believe,
Hey.
okay? Let me finish, sir.
Okay.
I'm allowed 10 minutes.
Please, Commissioner Cisneros, refrain.
Yes. So, we had not submitted appropriation forms, they were kind enough to get us appropriations forms. I sent them to the city manager. I also asked the city manager to invite the commission to go with us to Washington to show a unified voice for all these issues of concern, and he made the list, Ben Medina made the list of what we were gonna go over there for. Not the lobbyists, Ben did, okay? It's Ben's job to decide who do we need to target, okay? And it's a consultant's job to get us in the door, and they're experts at this. They're the ones that got us 19 million for the Weir Dam, plus another 3 million. So they're highly qualified. I think you're not gonna go wrong, but to go to Washington, like Commissioner Triani says, yeah, we can go with Ben alone, but that's not gonna get us in the door. These people are well-connected, they know who to talk to, and that will add, I think, benefit to obtain those fundings that we need for our city. So based on that, and the invitation I extended to all the city commissioners through the city manager, I think we should be approved.
Okay,
Simple, it's not...
more discussion, Commissioner Longoria, you're too quiet. No? Okay, we're gonna ask for the vote, all in
Can I make
favor of
one
approving?
comment? If I can, Ben, I just wanna make sure that we're leaving Wednesday morning, that we schedule these meetings after we get there. I don't wanna get there and for these meetings to be already ongoing. I don't want the meetings to be ongoing before we arrive. You know, we need to hold up, schedule the meetings, so by the time we get there, we can go and do our presentation. Okay?
You gotta remember, this is very short notice for the lobbyist, so he's doing his best to
Hold on
get
real
us
quick,
in the door.
are you done?
Yeah, I just wanna add that, Mayor, just for the record, they're not doing us a favor, they're getting paid for the job, so.
Don't hire him.
Okay.
I mean, just...
No, I don't mind, we need to hire them.
You're out of order, Mayor.
Yes, sir.
All right, motion to approve?
Aye.
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 Against?
Aye.
Motion carries.
And you get to go on your trip.
Yeah.
Thank you, Charlie. Thank you, Ben. Good job, man. Atkinson?
I was just kidding.
You wanna be mayor? Go ahead. Okay, next item, please.
Item 16, consideration and action on resolution number 2008-033, authorizing the granting of a utility easement on certain real property described as a 0.347 acre tract of land at the rear of Brownsville Animal Shelter.
Mayor, members of the commission, this is, provide utilities for a new subdivision that's going on to the east of the animal shelter. And the, Olmito Water Supply Corporation needs to have access to the property. This is at the very rear line of the animal shelter property. As I understand, the city engineer, can fill you in a little bit more on what's going on here.
Mr. Lastra?
Commissioners, basically it's just to provide services to this property in the event that we build anything behind the animal shelter, we can connect to it directly.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion approved by Commissioner Garza, second by Commissioner Terriani. Any discussion on the subject? All in favor to close, all in favor to, pass?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 17, consideration and action on resolution number 2008-032, authorizing the filing of grant applications with the Lower Rio Grande Valley Development Council for fiscal year 2008 and 2009 regional solid waste grant programs, authorizing the Public Health Department to act on behalf of the City of Brownsville in all matters related to the applications, and pledging that if a grant is received, the City of Brownsville will comply with the grant requirements of the Lower Rio Grande Valley Development Council, the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality, and the State of Texas.
Move to approve.
Wait,
Second.
hold on.
Please, go ahead, please.
Honorable Mayor, Commissioners, my name is Raul Villarreal, Assistant Health Director. If we, consideration of this action granted, we will abide by other agencies that's pronounced here on the agenda. And also, I'm sorry Mr. Ramirez couldn't make it this afternoon. And that's it.
What is your recommendation, sir?
We have some plans for it for this grant money.
We recommend...
You hadn't planned? I can't hear what he said.
This is a grant that we are recommending that the commission
Proposal
approve.
to submit.
Yeah.
Move to approve.
It just,
I move,
Second.
I have moved to approve.
He already made it.
With all due respect, no, I made it first.
Okay, let's not get back to the free-for-all. So we have a motion by Commissioner Garza, we have a second by who?
Second.
Second by Commissioner, Camarillo. Any discussion on the subject? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item 18.
Item 18, consideration and action on resolution number 2008-034, reaffirming the commitment to voluntarily participate in the U.S. Department of Energy Builders Challenge to produce energy-efficient, high-performing, affordable homes, to review and recommend green building program standards for the City of Brownsville.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion, a second, motion by Commissioner Atkinson, second by Commissioner Garza. Any discussion? You want to say something, Ben?
Just thank you for the resolution. We intend to present this, the mayor, maybe to Secretary of Energy Bowen. We did receive a certificate for 10 homes that were done. We've been working closely with the University of Central Florida to help us design and monitor construction of 10 existing homes right now. And I do have the certificate presented to the city for homes that we did as a pilot project. And I was going to show you, but the machine's not working, a picture of me with Secretary Bowen accepting the certificate, but maybe the mayor this week will present this resolution to the secretary that we are committed to working and providing affordable homes, but that are energy efficient, reaching the scale of E70, which means 30% savings in terms of energy use to the family.
Any discussion?
I think this is a good thing that we're doing. It's, most people, when they get these houses, they don't understand that the PUB bill comes too, and sometimes the PUB bill is just as high as the rent, and if we can give them something where they can save up to 30% on electricity, wow, that's a great thing, and I hope we pass this tonight.
Okay, any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item 19.
Item 19, consideration and action on adopting the policies for the Housing Replacement Rehabilitation Program for the elderly and special needs citizens.
Honorable Mayor and City Commissioners, we're asking for the approval of these policies. Basically, what we've been learning is that we do have a moderate rehab program that's been funded, but when we go to some of these homes, fixing the bathroom or the kitchen sink or maybe the kitchen cabinets is not enough. They need a new home. They need a replacement home. Replacing the cabinets is not going to meet the codes. So we're asking for you to approve this tonight. The money has been funded. It's just an allocation and formalizing the policies, how we're going to work. And basically, it's for homes that have $15,000 or 50% deteriorated. more than 15,000 or 50% deteriorated, we would look into maybe replacing the whole home. And the people would stay there, and this is basically elderly until they move or pass away. Then at that time, the family can buy that home from the city of Brownsville. So we're asking for your approval.
Yeah, motion to approve.
Second. Approved by Commissioner Garza, second by Commissioner Atkinson. Any discussion?
Ben, does this
Say
go,
something? Jerry, you want to say something? Please.
Mayor, I have a question.
Is it open to the public?
I have a
You'll be
question.
recognized in a minute. Go ahead. You want to say something? I saw you raise your hand.
Is it open to the public, though?
I can open it and have them just recognize.
May I ask that you,
Are we talking about policies or about actually awarding monies?
policies and possibly awarding money?
Then I would like to say that at the present time, I'm the chair of the Brownsville Community Advisory Council. And on July 31st, 2007, City Commission restructured the BCAC's bylaws, if you recall. And they now clearly state that the role of the BCAC is to review and recommend for your final decision the disbursement of all home monies and other HUD entitlement funds, including recycled and unallocated funds. Items 19 and 20 on today's agenda would circumvent your BCAC bylaws that you passed on July 31st. They clearly state that the City Commission should take into consideration the BCAC's recommendations before it takes final action in dispersing HUD entitlement funds. I therefore respectfully request that you table agenda items 19 and 20, which prematurely award these monies to the BAHC, the Brownsville Affordable Home Ownership Corporation. At the present time, we've received the proposals for home monies. We have about $1.1 million in home monies. We've received over $4 million in requests. The Brownsville Affordable Home Corporation has put in a request for $1 million to do exactly the same projects, pretty much, that you're considering now from the 06-07 funds. So basically, what I'm asking you to do is, why not put those funds back into the allocation for this year and honor the bylaws that you passed recently, and let the committee look at everything, put it into perspective. I gave you a couple of sheets of paper that express serious limitations on these proposals, and you can always have the last word anyway, but it would go through the RFP process, it would go through and we don't have enough monies to be able to satisfy the people that are requesting funds. I think that this would be a good way to do it. You wouldn't have to send out RFPs later on. We could look at all the proposals, and like I say, BAHC has $1 million in requests for its present year.
So you're against item 19?
Well, no, not necessarily. What I'm for is to go through the process that you set up. You said that the Brownsville Advisory Committee would deliberate over all home monies, with something that it hasn't done in the past. We've done it this last 2 years. Plus all recycled and unexpended monies would come to their consideration. And what you're doing is you're circumventing the process. If you
don't we have the ultimate say?
You will have the ultimate say, but I think you ought to honor the committee that you all established and let it operate according to your bylaws. I think that...
We recognize there's problems on that board too with individuals there who are just demanding certain things on that board without giving much discussions to the other members that are on there. There's a big problem there. We're going to address that problem there too, because certain people have to be removed there then we're gonna remove people there too. The idea is to work with everybody on that board. It just seems like a certain few are running that board, and we gotta address that. So it's not much of a board right now.
Mayor, I just want to make a point that,
Commissioner Camarillo.
as part of this resolution, there are no funds attached. All it is stating that they want to consider, Father Frank, this is something they want to do. It didn't indicate, well, we're going to use X amount of money for the elderly. It hasn't been placed. I think that's where the committee comes in to say, okay, well, how much you allocate. Ben, is that correct?
You're correct, Commissioner, and basically what we're using is money that they have already allocated for the rehabilitation project. Basically what we're doing is setting a neat policy of money that's already been approved by them and by the commission. That money's already budgeted. We already have that money and the treasury allocated for this project. It's just putting basically a name to it. Basically what we're doing is we have a modern rehab program where we go and fix people's homes that are elderly or special needs. But what I'm saying is that we've come to with houses that we were trying to help need much more work than just a kitchen cabinet. Okay, and we're not circumventing anything. You already have approved it, they have approved it. We're just putting sort of like a name to it and clarifying a little bit that if they need if they need more than 15,000 or their home is just too far gone, that we're gonna try and work and get a replacement house. So, yes, it has been approved. The moderate rehab has been approved.
May I have the floor?
Yes, sir.
I will continue to tell you again that your conflicting views with your involvement with CDCB and with these projects are hindrance to a lot of the progress that we're doing. I will ask you politely, please, that any involvement that you have in Washington, D.C. with HUD, please not be contradictory or conflictive with the agenda that this city has in moving along. That's all I ask.
I'd be recognized.
Commissioner.
And I don't see how these two items, the other ones dealing with helping families of injured soldiers that come home from the Iraqi war disabled. My brother's a special needs person. I can tell you firsthand, back in the day, nobody helped us. My parents had 11 kids, so we can take care of one person his whole life. And if the city wants to make a policy to help these special needs, these soldiers from Iraq, I don't see how you can come up here and talk against that. I'm Catholic, but golly, man, just totally disappointing on why someone would come up to oppose this stuff, and these are the problems I'm talking about that they're having on that board, and I just feel the city's making some valiant strides to help people, because we are one of the poorest people, and to someone to be opposed to these two items, it just irks me.
Go ahead, Father Jerry.
As I said, they have a request in for $1 million for rehabilitation of homes, construction of new homes for returning injured Iraqi war veterans. And that's for this present year. That's not part of this thing.
That's for October, Father.
That's right. That's for October.
It just seems like the conflict's right here, when y'all should be talking, so we don't have to address this
Well,
from the whole, all of
you
Brownsville.
can do what you want, Commissioner. I asked you to what I'm trying to say to you is that you've made some bylaws. We're asking you to honor the bylaws. You're gonna have the final say anyway. All we are is an advisory committee. And
You're asking us to follow our own bylaws.
that's right. And we're not having the conflict. I don't know what conflict you're talking about on.
We're saying we abided by those rules already. We're asking for these policies to be approved. We're saying we've already abided by what Father Frank is
So do we believe a man of the cloth or our city manager?
Let's speak one at a time. Go ahead.
We're saying we've already abided by the rules that the commission passed. Now, we have done some work with funding to get some of these houses done, and we've also done work in repairing soldiers' homes. We're asking for the policies to be accepted for the upcoming
Mr. Mayor?
Mayor, if I may, Mayor?
Commissioner Atkinson wanted to
I
be...
just want to say that there is a pending motion, and I think Commissioner Camarillo, you seconded, or?
I just want to make a comment. Anytime that we can help anybody with special needs, and all due respect for special needs, our elderly and our Iraqi war veterans and their families, it's a good thing, and I'm
Of course
gonna
it
be
is, of course it is. And I'm for it too. I want to do that too, but I just want to follow the process that you set up, follow your
But, our
bylaws.
city manager's
I
saying that
think
we
in
are
'06,
abiding by the...
in '06, '07, this is a project that wasn't discussed in '06, '07 when you passed this plan.
Well, thank God we
This
brought it
is
up
a new
now.
project. This has got to go out for RFPs and has to go through public hearings and everything else. It was not part of the '06, '07 action plan. This is a Johnny-come-lately.
So you're saying they're not following policy or not?
That's right. It would not be following policy, and your policy nor HUD policy.
But he's saying we are following policy.
So Father Jerry, you're not against, so I can understand, you're not against this? You just want us to follow policy?
There's no reason to be against it. I'm not against motherhood and apple pie
Any other
either.
commissioner wants to say something?
Let's take a vote.
No, I'm just waiting for the vote.
Commissioner, Train, you want to say something? Okay, Commissioner Cisneros? No? Nobody else? Okay.
Well, just please look at these 2 pages. We looked at this project very carefully, and there are a lot of question marks about it, and a lot of questions about who's going to own this, own these rehabilitated homes once they're done, how feasible this project is going to be. I know we don't have time to go over these items one by one, but I just ask you all to take a good, hard look at this and make sure that this is what you want to be getting into. And then I think you need to look at procedures and HUD policy and RFPs and public hearings, and whether this was really, how could this be a part of the '06, '07 action plan when it wasn't even being thought about then? This is something conceived most recently. And why not put those monies into the funds we now have? Let us entertain all the proposals and see which ones are the best we can recommend to you. If we've left out something that you think ought to be funded, you have every right to change the recommendations and add your projects.
But this way, we're sending a message to that board that we want these things added on.
Well, you're not sending a message. You're actually, we're not going to be able to. It's done. You're going to award it. Now, whether you do it,
Mayor, based on Father Frank's last statements, can I ask a couple questions?
Certainly.
Okay. Mr. Medina, have we followed our own bylaws?
Yes, you have.
Okay. Mr. Kabler, have we followed our own bylaws?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chosey, do you have any idea, or have any knowledge of this subject?
No, sir, I don't.
Okay. So, y'all are telling me that we've followed our own bylaws, your city staff, you recommend approval?
Yes, they do.
Thank you.
Can we vote now, Mr. Mayor?
Okay, we have a motion and a second, no further discussion. Commission here, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 20, consideration and action on adopting the policies of the Housing Rehab Program for families of injured soldiers of the Iraq War.
Again, Honorable Mayor and Commissioners, right now we are helping our second family with an injured family member. We discovered that the whole house needed to be replaced. Unfortunately, as many poor families, poor kids go up, they're injured, and when they come back, unfortunately, they need ADA. Their parents cannot afford. We try to help a family, but their home needs to be redone. We're working with nonprofits. We're working with foundations. We've been able to leverage a lot of money for both of these families, but...
Move to approve.
Second.
But let him finish. Okay. We have a motion to approve by Commissioner Cisneros. Is that right? Okay, second by Commissioner Triani. All in favor, any discussion?
Yeah, I'd like to, Mayor, I'd like to add that something that we've been working on with Ben Medina, and it's something that, it's the least that we could do. Good thing.
Any more discussion?
I like just to say, we have people come up and say, this project is bad, this project is this, we're spending money here, we're throwing away money over here. These items right here are items that I would love to pay taxes to help these people. These people need us, and if we ever pay, I know we all hate paying taxes, but if some of our taxes have to go to this, that's honorable, admirable, and this is our duty to approve these things.
Okay, any more?
Just real quick, I think Commissioner Atkinson said it best. These are worthy causes, and this is somebody who has placed his life on the line for us, for our government, and for our way of life. I think this is the least we can do.
Okay, anything else?
I concur with that.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item 21,
Item 21, consideration and action to award a contract for the Valley International Country Club Pond Overflow Drain Improvement Project.
Good evening, Mayor, City Commission. I'll be real brief on this. Staff recommendation is the following. We have two options. Of course, city staff recommends option A, which is to award a contract for the BICC Pond Overflow Drain Improvement Project to Mavisa of San Benito, Texas, the low responsible bidder, for a total amount of $75,252.73. Option B will be to award a contract for the BICC Pond Overflow Drain Improvement Project to Quell Construction of Brownsville, Texas, the second low responsible bidder, for a total bid amount of $75,417.20, as per Section 271.9051 of the Local Government Code, which allows the city to enter into a contract with the bidders whose bid is within 5% of the lowest bid price received from a bidder who is not a resident of the municipality. So the difference is
Yeah, what's the difference on that?
a 2.2% or $164.47.
I'd like to make a motion.
Wait to be recognized. Now, do we have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve local preference.
Okay.
Option B?
I'll second that
Option
to
B.
approve Quell
Okay,
Construction.
second now. Somebody wants to be recognized for discussion? Commissioner Atkinson.
The only reason why is because the local preference is from Brownsville. I know we had a discussion back in the day, but that, I saw an email there that said that we include ETJ, but San Benito is not in our ETJ, and this company is from San Benito, housed in San Benito, has an office in Weslaco, and has his employees over there. When we talked about the last time, we included ETJ and or city limits to include the 5% preference. The second person,
Quell Construction?
option B, they fall into the city limits, which is part of, and that's why I would recommend that. We take care of Brownsville, contractors because, you know, with the economy going right now, we need our city contractors to keep working with their employees, because they need to pay their employees too, and if there's no work, then we need to worry about, you know, we talk about, you know, affordable wages and stuff like that, but this falls into that because, you know, we need to take care of local people, and this falls into that because, it's not a ETJ issue or it's, this guy's in the city of Brownsville, and the competitor is solely a competitor of San Benito.
Okay, anybody else wish to?
Mayor, yeah, I'd like to make a comment.
Something else?
I second that motion because, for $164, and we're giving it to local people,
It's just a
citizens of
minimum
Brownsville,
amount. That's right.
it's the right thing to do.
Okay, any more discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item 22,
Item 22, consideration and action to award a contract for a capital improvement program, CIP 2006, for street and drainage improvements, contract number 2.
Staff recommendation is to award a contract for Capital Improvement Program, CIP 2006, for street paving and drainage improvements, contract number 2, to G&T Paving Company of Brownsville, Texas, which is the low responsive bidder, for a total bid amount of $801,661.58. It is important to note that PUV will be reimbursing the city of Brownsville $51,717. And the list of streets is Cuba Street, Guanajay Court, Quemado de Guinness Street, Sagua Court, Soroa Street, and Camagüey Street.
Move to approve.
Second.
motion to approve, a second by Commissioner Troyani. Any discussion?
Yeah, I'd like to make some comments. This has badly been needed for a long, long time. The streets are in very disrepair. They need to get fixed, and so I'm glad to see this list of streets which are located in the Brownsville Country Club, being attended to.
Yeah, we're also getting a good price right now.
A good price, yeah.
Came under in the
Even better.
engineer's estimate.
Any
Sounds
further
good.
discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Item 23.
Item 23, consideration and action to award a contract for the purchase of one new model TCM 425-100-DHE Pro Patch pothole patcher for the Public Works Department.
Staff recommendation is to award a contract for purchase and delivery of one 2008 Freightliner truck and it's a truck and cabin chassis mounted on a TCM 425 Pro Patch pothole patcher to Freightliner of Austin, Texas, in the amount of $116,864. That includes a buy-board administrative fee.
Move to approve.
Money is in place.
We have a motion by Commissioner Longoria and second by Commissioner Cisneros. All in favor?
Aye.
Discussion. Any discussion?
Yeah, I want to make a comment real
Thank you.
quick, Mayor. Robert, this is a real good deal because I know that when we got our last pothole patcher, I mean, we've really used it, and this is something that's going to pay for itself.
Yes,
And the citizens of Brownsville are benefiting from it, so it's a good
Any
deal.
further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
We have a motion, a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Separation of church and state. Guy doesn't understand that. Dang, man.
Oh.
Good luck in Washington. Take care of yourself. See you later. Are you gonna fix it up in the morning? What?
520.
In the 520?
520, buddy.
How was your depot?
Limited liability for my client.